Okay, in editing or adding a new inventory item, our first tab is a general tab. So here's where you would set the inventory item up. First of all, when you create the new part number, you have to tell the system whether it's a normal, non-physical, and non-physical means that it's an item that does not get consumed, for instance, labor. Manufactured, which means it's to build one of these items consists of other components, and to do this you need the bill of materials module. A kitted item, which is similar to manufactured, but it is consumed as it's being sold and does not need to be pre-manufactured. And then raw material, if the item is defined as a raw material for reporting purposes. You've also got choice of going with serialized or lot controlled. Serialized inventory simply means that when you receive an item, it gets assigned a serial number. When you sell the item, it consumes that serial number. Lot numbered is similar in that, except that you can have more than one of an item under a particular lot number. There's a separate video on how lot control is done within BVEssentials. An upload to web, which means it's a check mark if you want this item uploaded to a web store. You set your product code, which is a grouping of products. So this here you got to look up, and you can add here for new groupings as you want. Each item gets a code and a description, and what margin you want it to be set at by default. Whatever margin you set here for its default when you edit it, this, if you sell it below that margin, we have alerts that can be set up. The surcharge percentage is if you turn on our surcharge system for doing things like shop supplies or maybe fuel surcharges, then this product code will have a percentage every time you sell it added to the order. Sales departments, important choice here. If you've got several of them, you can set up up to 200 of them. Each one of them is defined. You define where the cost of goods account is, where the sales account is, and where the inventory account is. So this is important because whenever you sell one of these items, it will determine what's being posted to your general ledger. It's especially important to think about this if you're using non-physical items. You want to make sure that it is not consuming your inventory GL account. So you'll either want to make your cost of goods and your inventory account the same so it does nothing to the general ledger, or speak to your accountant about how you can set this up to pull expense accounts or things like that. An alternate part number, what this is for is if you're out of stock on this particular item, it will suggest, BVEssentials sales manager, as you take an order for an item, it'll suggest this part number, and if you select it, it will switch the part number on the order for you. The accessory is a unique field to BVEssentials that if you put an accessory on this item, whenever you sell this part number, the main part number, it will automatically add a second part number to the order at that time. If you choose a kit for this item that consists of many components, all of those components will be exploded onto the order at the same time. This is your sell price one. This is just your main sell price, your list price. And this margin, if you type a margin in here, if you want to put 30%, it will recalculate what the sell price should be based on the current cost down here. Now, if you set this at 30%, it does not maintain itself at 30%. It will only set it at this particular point. If you change your sell price or your cost price goes up at any point, this margin does not stay along with it. We set whether the item is allowed to have back orders or not, or allow returns or not. There may be certain items that you do not allow returns, so if somebody tries to put it on an order, it will not be able to be taken. Some people who ship product over the borders need to have a harmonized custom code, which can be printed on packing slips. And also, in a lot of cases, it needs to know what the country of origin is when you're importing it into that country, into a country. So both of these can be added to different reports. The average cost of an item is maintained by the system during receiving a product. It re-averages it every time it's received. So if it's already some in stock, it calculates what the new cost would be depending on how many we just received. Current cost, this is just tracked. Every time you buy this product, it puts the price of you bought it that day. So you can always see what you last paid for it. Standard cost is not a cost that's used within the system at this point. It is just for reference only. So if you want to report on it on this particular item, we have pack size. This is just how many are normally in the package. It's not a calculated field. Again, it's for reference only. The weight of an item. If you put a weight on here, then that weight will be put onto the sales order and will give you a total weight on the sales order so you know how much the item weighs. The location in the warehouse where this is kept. This is just for if you need to go look for this item, or you need to count this item, or you need to know where to put it away. This is what's presented when the user goes to sell it as well, so that if it's on a sales order, on that line, it'll show where it needs to be pulled from. This is notes. This is just an extra field. It can be renamed. These two fields called user defined can be changed to a different name, and you can have a list for these that you can create. If you do a lookup on these, you can add as many types as you want here. So type A, it now becomes a selectable item on my notes list, or whatever you call this particular item. This is another numeric. This one's alphanumeric, and this one's a numeric user-defined field. In the Business Vision System setup, if you go and set that user-defined field up, it will put a name right in here what it is for. Foreground, background color. You can set the color on an item. That way it stands out on your lists and it stands out on your sales order when you see them. Who do you primarily buy this from is selected here. So if I choose a vendor for this, for doing my requisitions, this is important because it'll present this vendor as the person you normally buy it from. Reorder point. How many do you want to keep in stock of this item at any given time? And calculations are done to tell you how many you need to order based on that as well. This is the last purchase order that we cut for this product and the day it's supposed to be due. What's our minimum order quantity? What does our supplier say we have to buy in order to purchase this item? We have a percentage of duty and freight can be set here. If you set these, then when you create a purchase order, it will put these on the purchase order at that time on a line-by-line basis for these items. Also, when you receive a purchase order and you manually type in a duty and freight, there is a system setting that will write back the duty and freight automatically. For lot control items only, a default expiration number of days can be added in here. So if you purchase product and it expires 1 year after you receive it, if you put 365 in here, then it will put an expiration date of 1 year from now. And here we have UPC codes. If you put, Business Vision has the capability of putting UPC codes for each of the unit of measures, but this one here is only for the selling unit of measure, where you can put a multiple number of units of measure. So if you sell a product that you buy from a few different suppliers, to you they're the same part number, but they have a different UPC number on there, you can add as many as you need to put in here. Under the extended description, this is where you can type a story about this item. It's something that you can print on your forms if you wish. Just be careful if you do put a lot of information here that it's going to take up a lot of room. Or you can just use this for your internal purposes. On the bottom of the order, on the bottom of the screen, we show you how many are on hand, how many are committed, the number are back order at this point, the on order, and the available quantity. And at the very bottom, who created this part number, what date and time they created it, and who last modified it, date and time. The modification date includes every time we've ever sold it. So if it gets sold, of course, the on order and the committed and the on hand and the committed quantity do change. So therefore, it does change the record, and that date and timestamp will change at that point.